Here's one hammered in the left. Off the bat of Suzuki and gone.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say 99.9% of you watching this video did not predict that the Houston Astros would be down 2-0 in the World Series against, of all teams, the Washington Nationals. And they're firing on all cylinders right now. Their chemistry is at an all-time high. What we're going to do is we're going to try and decide, can the Nationals hold on to their 2-0 lead, unlike my team, the Cleveland Indians, who in 2017 choked a 2-0 lead in the ALDS against the Yankees. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to go back to the 2016 World Series and revisit the 3-1 choke job. I've fully healed, but that scar, it's still there, so it's not going to be easy for me. But I'm telling you, this series with the Astros and the Nationals, it's not over yet. So I want you guys to let me know in the comment section down below before we start the video, do you think that the Nationals are going to blow this lead and the Astros are going to come back? Or do you think that the Nationals, they're just playing way too well? Bryce Harper leaving kind of motivated them to win this World Series. That could be the case, but then again, we've seen it happen before with the Indians twice in the span of 2 years. That a 2-win series lead is not really it's not safe. Now I'm going to take you guys into my head and my thought process through all 7 games of the 2016 World Series. And game number 1, if we take a look at my script, we have Corey Kluber, who was dominant this entire postseason, versus John Lester. And of all people to go off in this game, we have Roberto Perez. And that's kind of what's happening in this year's World Series. You have guys that are not supposed to be going off.
One. Swung on, and there's a high fly ball deep left field. Does it have enough? That ball is gone. Swung on and blasted deep left field. Away back, gone. Wow, what a game for Perez. Roberto Perez.
So at that point, Corey Kluber was on top of his game. He was considered one of the best pitchers, if not the best pitcher in the American League. Also, John Lester was doing his thing, so you could pretty much compare it to Garrett Cole versus Max Scherzer in game number 1. Now if we go to game number 2, because you just saw the Indians take a huge win over the Cubs, game number 2 was just not the same because we had a young Trevor Bauer going up against Jake Arrieta. Yeah, Jake Arrieta happened the year before in 2015 in the second half. Jake Arrieta had the most dominant stretch of baseball by a pitcher in league history. He had a .75 ERA. So I knew that if we did not win game number 1, we're not going to win game number 2 because Trevor Bauer, bless his heart, one of my favorite players in baseball today, him versus Jake Arrieta and that Cubs offense who just got shut out, they came out with a chip on their shoulder.
He does, and a base hit. Here comes Rizzo. Schwarber with another base hit. Game 2 and strikes out. That's number 6 for Jake Arrieta.
Arrieta gets 2. Swinging a bouncer to short. Glove by Addison Russell, and he throws him out, and the Cubs win.
So I know that this is a little bit different because the series is tied 1-1 and the Astros are down 2-0. But bear with me. We're going to get to the 3-1 deficit in just a second. But we have to talk about the games that lead up to it because, of course, anything can happen in October. And someone from the Cubs actually told me that. So keep watching. So now the series is knotted up 1-1, and you could have convinced me that if I close my eyes and just listen to the results of the game with the starting pitchers for each team, you could have convinced me that Greg Maddux was the starting pitcher for both teams. You have Josh Tomlin and Kyle Hendricks. Both of these guys were known for not throwing hard and being pinpoint accurate. And this game, I just cannot believe what the final score was. Yeah, guess what? Coco Crisp, I don't even remember this. This happened 3 years ago. It still does not jog the memory in my head that Coco Crisp was on the Indians. I have literally zero memory of that. But of course, Coco Crisp, he delivers the game-winning RBI in a 1-0 ball game. Oh my gosh, my anxiety was at an all-time high this entire game.
Hard hit. Russell. Double play. Inning over. Crisp. That's into right. It's a base hit. Martinez will come to the plate and score. Throw to third in time. Swing and a miss. Ball game.
Game number 4, the Indians now have a 2-1 lead over the Chicago Cubs. It's been 107, 108 years since they've won. Steve Bartman is still in hiding. They need this W, otherwise it is going to be a steep battle because if they lose this game, it'll be a 3-1 series disadvantage. And Corey Kluber, he was Kluba, and also the offense with Carlos Santana and Jason Kipnis, which is kind of sad to say because Jason Kipnis is no longer on the Indians, and neither is Trevor Bauer. So it's kind of surreal to make this video. Man, time flies. This was 3 years ago. Anyways, I'm getting off track. Game number 4, as you guys know, because they do blow the 3-1 lead, goes to the Indians.
High drive into right. Back at the wall. This game is tied. Lindor shoots one into right center field. High drive into right. Back at the wall. It is gone. Can't miss.
This is it. This is it. This is the time where Trevor Bauer has to step up and become a hero, okay? Babe Ruth said in The Sandlot that heroes get remembered, but legends never die. So maybe we need Trevor Bauer to be a legend. That is not the case, as he gets absolutely shamalong ding-dong on, and it wasn't close from the start. I knew that this game was going to be tough because we had Trevor Bauer on the mound, and I just didn't trust him at that time. And then also, the offense for the Cubs, they were hungry. And then Aroldis Chapman absolutely stole my heart from my chest. But it's okay. It's still 3-2. We got this.
Fly ball deep left center field, back toward the wall. It's got a chance.
Left side. Here comes Rizzo. No play at the plate. That's into center. This ball is down.
Chapman brings it. Swing and a miss. And there will be a game 6.
So now we're getting to the point where I have to actually go to my shift at Apple because I was working at the Genius Bar at the time, and game number 6 is going on as I'm working. So I'm anxious. I'm trying to get through all my appointments at the same time. Ma'am, you don't know your iCloud password, and I don't really care because game number 6 is on. You can go get your iCloud password from your grandson. That's how I do it. But anyways, Jake Arrieta versus Josh Tomlin. I mean, come on. Come on. You know it's already going to be a 3-3 series. I don't even want to talk about it.
First,
Bryant, it's a high.
in the air to center. Naquin to his left. Chisholm, neither one gets it. High fly ball to left center. At the wall. Grand slam. 7-0.
1. Rizzo drives one in the air. Deep right field.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is time. Game number 7. The series is knotted up 3-3. Just like the Astros were down 2 games, the Cubs came all the way back from a 2-game deficit. Game number 7, you have Corey Kluber versus, I think, Kyle Hendricks, and Dexter Fowler starts off the game with the home run, and then the rest is history. It's just, that scar is still there. It doesn't hurt as much, but it is possible. All you Astros fans out there, watch what happens, and just know, in October, anything is possible.
Fowler hits it. Here's a fly. Swung on, hit.
Line drive into right center field. Swung on, line to deep left field. It is gone.
Pitch. Ground ball to third. Base hit down the left. A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it and throw to Rizzo. It's in time.
So the reason why I've brought that quote up twice, the fact that in October anything can happen, is Dexter Fowler actually told me this the month after the World Series. He lives in Las Vegas and he came into the Apple store, and guess who got stuck with working with him? Me. He had an issue with his iPhone, and I thought before he leaves I have to ask him, how did he hit that home run against Corey Kluber in the first inning? And he looks at me, doesn't really say much because I'm an Indians fan. He's a Cubs player. I was just kind of like, I'm over it at this point. I don't want to talk to anyone who's a Cubs fan. He looks me dead in my face and said, I don't know, anything can happen in October. And yeah. So if you're an Astros fan, I want you to really take hold of those words. And if you're a Nationals fan, you have to continue to support your team because now they're going back to DC. You have to cheer as loud as humanly possible. Do not let your team think that they're an underdog because let's be honest, the Nationals, they are the underdog in this series. Do not get it twisted, but the Astros, I'm not sure if their confidence has been shaken. To me, it does. Yordan Alvarez, he's trying to heat up. Alex Bregman is hitting home runs, but the rest of the squad is just not performing. Verlander is giving up a lot of home runs. Cole was not Garrett Cole, so now if Zach Greinke does not win tomorrow, I think this series is a wrap because no team has ever come back from a 3-0 lead in the World Series. So that's going to do it for me today. If you guys did enjoy, slap a like on this one. I should be coming out with the part 2 to this video tomorrow. You guys will understand what I'm talking about when that goes live, but still kind of sad. 3 years later, a lot has changed. We have Andrew Miller, Trevor Bauer, and Jason Kipnis all off the Indians. David Ross, who hit a home run in game number 7 off Andrew Miller, still one of the most insane home runs I've ever seen. He is now the manager of the Cubs. So a lot can change, and I'm just going to leave it there. I'm going to go eat some good food. Maybe some Chipotle. I need some happy food. Yeah, Chipotle with guac sounds good. Maybe a burrito, a bowl. I don't know.